Grandmother's confession. The family had all gathered at Mrs. Iris Kingswell's household. She wanted them all there for her final moments, as Iris felt she would soon pass away. Her family members took turns speaking with Iris and spending time with her. Colton, her oldest grandson, was the last to enter her room. "Colton, please have a seat," Iris spoke softly, her voice hoarse, motioning to a chair. "How are you feeling, Grandma?" he asked, sitting with a frown. I'm all right, but I need to tell you something," Iris then added. "Something very important." "Should I go get Mom?" Colton said, going to stand, but his grandmother shook her head. "No, this is something I want to tell you only." Iris smiled, and he leaned back in his chair and nodded. "Okay, what do you want to tell me?" A sigh of relief escaped his grandmother's lips as she began to tell her story. When Iris was growing up, her only companion was her father, as her mother had passed away when she was young. As she got older, though, her father fell for a woman in their small town. Iris knew her father wouldn't be alone forever and had to accept that he would start dating again. This woman, however, made Iris's skin crawl, but she was willing to push that aside if her father was happy. Until one night when Iris suddenly awoke from a deep sleep. She saw Vidya, her father's girlfriend, walk past her open bedroom door and down the hallway, her eyes glowing. Sitting upright in bed, Iris watched this woman approach her father's bedroom. Slowly getting out of bed, Iris tiptoed quietly down the hall. She stopped, watching from her father's open doorway. His girlfriend was standing at the end of his bed, just staring at him. Taking a step back, the floorboard under her foot creaked, and Vidya snapped her head in the direction of the sound. Cursing, Iris tried to sink into the hallway's darkness as much as she could. The woman smiled, mouthing, "I see you." Before Vidya could follow her, Iris ran to her room and hid under her covers, leaving only a tiny opening to peep out of. A thudding of footsteps came down the hallway, stopping at Iris's open door. "Iris!" A voice called to her in a hiss. "Go away, go away, go away." Closing her eyes as tightly as she could, Iris prayed that Vidya would leave. There was a tusk, and Vidya clicked her tongue in disappointment. The woman left her doorway, and Iris peeked her head out, sighing in relief. Vidya had left. Why had she been here in the first place? In the morning, Iris spoke to her father about what had occurred last night. Did you invite Vidya to spend the night?" "No, I didn't. Why do you ask?" "She was here last night." Her father furrowed his brow and lowered his coffee cup. "What do you mean she was here?" he asked, confused. Iris fidgeted in her seat, looking down at the table. "Last night, I saw Vidya inside the house. She walked through the halls and stood at the foot of your bed, her eyes glowing yellow." Her father laughed. Her eyes were glowing. "Iris, you had to be dreaming." "But I wasn't." She stood, slamming her hands on the table. The medium-sized round table shook, causing her empty glass to topple over and roll. Follow for part 2.